If you put a gun to my head and asked what my favorite comedy anime of all time was, without hesitation, I would answer Konasuba. Taking a break from the circular comedy that is often found in anime and taking notes from the more Western sitcom genre. It's often their own decisions that results in the comedy of the series. All because the Konasuba gang, to put it lightly, are idiots, each in their own special and unique way. This season, suppose a kid from the last dungeon, Boonies, moved to the starter town, captures a bit of that magic. It's still nowhere on the level that Konasuba is, but if you like those idiotic moments, this series might be for you. Lloyd, who is most likely level 80, lives in an environment where the average monster is level 95 and gets his ass whooped each and every day. But he has this dream of becoming a soldier and moves to the starter town to do just that, where he is incredibly overpowered, but he does not know that and is filled with self-doubt. While that is going on, the king is being controlled by someone who wants to start a war with a different kingdom. You know, basic fantasy plot, and spoiler warning for up to episode 4. Now, you would think that latter part would be the main arc of the series, where they would work to uncover who is controlling the king, where it's revealed to be a demon lord. Yeah, you know, basic stuff, right? Then they would have to defeat the demon lord, but no, they complete that entire arc by episode 4, which is pure comedy gold. One of the key things the series does to create its moments is it uses its score quite well. In the first episode, it presents Lloyd as this underdog. When he's doing the classic underdog speech, talking about how he's the weakest in his village, he can't fish or hunt, the score is very somber in order to make us feel sympathetic to the character. Then as he's telling the story, it's revealed that it took him only 4 days to run to the other side of the country, and the score completely switches, which I love because it changes how we feel about that scene. Lloyd, to put it lightly, is an idiot.
運が良かったのか、モンスターには一度も出会いませんでした。さあ、でも動物にはたくさん出会いました。大きなイナゴとか、火を吹くと。
Like a cute idiot, but a total idiot that can't read a room at all. Clues will be laid out in front of him that is incredibly obvious to the audience, and he will see these clues and conclude the complete opposite. Much like Luffy does when someone puts on a poorly made disguise. Lloyd's misreading of the clues laid out in front of him creates some of the best moments of the series.
ちゃんと聞いてください。僕は真面目な話をしているんです。お祭りだからってお酒飲みすぎて、そんなコスプレして暴力振るうなんて、軍人として、いえ、人として最低です。
Him believing that Maria saved him right before he almost decapitated a dude with just his fist in front of an audience that knows he's at a power level that the whole entire army would have an issue with controlling. Despite this, Lloyd starts out not with confidence, but with self-doubt. He's very much a person that will apologize for his weakness while the other person trembles in fear of his raw power. Because of the juxtaposition of his attitude versus his power level, it can cause the people around him to be a bit hesitant, believing that he is putting up a friendly front before he decides to kill them. But he is a product of his environment. He's the weakest in his village of overpowered freaks. Where he lives is described as the village where the heroes of the world decided to rest after saving the world. It's a hostile and terrifying place for anyone but the few that live there. And it's because of this environment he grew up in that places him in an alternative reality compared to the rest of the cast of characters. Giant insects that would be an issue for a large amount of people, he's able to deal with them by flicking them. Like seriously, he flicks them. Because of the environment he grows up in, he views these giant bugs not as monsters but as regular bugs. The bar of which he judges himself is so incredibly high it's practically unobtainable. Nevertheless, he makes an effort in order to improve and be more useful to his friends. Let me introduce you to the rest of the cast of idiots. we got Lolly Grandma, Witch with a Big Hat, Batshit Crazy Princess, and Greedy McGreedy. I'm going to get back to the last two, but first I want to talk about Maria, or Witch with a Big Hat, and Lolly Grandma, aka Akia. And no, I'm not calling her Lolly Grandma to be edgy, that's what the show refers to her as. Yes, she's 120 years old that looks like a 12-year-old. You know, an oversaturated anime trope, but the show calls itself out for this ridiculous trope. There is this master-pupil rivalry between the two of them where they constantly try to find ways to manipulate and annoy one another. You can tell that Maria suffers a bit of PSD due to her time with Akia before the beginning of the series. Maria almost feels like she's in the wrong show some of the time, taking a more serious notes to things around her, trying to honestly help the kingdom, but she can have comedic moments. She kind of reminds me a bit of Ed from Full Metal Alchemist, and what I mean by this is like Ed, she's serious most of the time, but can also create those comedic moments. Akia, on the other hand, is thirsty. She's thirsty for Lloyd. It's a little creepy, like wanting to try his chocolate banana in the middle of the festival creepy. She's kind of like a more crazy version of Hestia from Danmachi, but at the same time, she's incredibly overpowered and serves as the village chief when she's not checking in on Lloyd. Suppose the kid from the last Boonies does not have a competition for the best girl, it has a competition for the worst girl. And the clear-cut winner, in my opinion, is that of Belt Girl, aka Selena. We have all heard this before. Guy saves a girl falls in love with a guy, and guy loves girl, and they live happily ever after, right? It's boring, it's cliche, it's classic. Okay, change the part of guy falls in love with a girl to girl becomes batshit crazy, then you get Belt Girl. Because she's crazy. And not in the good way, I mean like full-on kill a whole village crazy for Lloyd kind of crazy. Look at her eyes, look at them, she's not a normal girl, right? She's a yandere, clear as day. Why do I call her Belt Girl? Because of the magic belts wrapped around her, able to protect her from all and any damage, you know, a magical item. And before the beginning of the series, they were wrapped around her head. But to Miss Dreamy McDreamy Lovebutt, they're the clear and defined signs that Lloyd loves her. A way of his connection of love and his power and affection for her that is protecting her from all of these possible damages that she might encounter. You know why she's obsessed with Lloyd? Because Lloyd, being the idiot that he is, cleaned the belt wrapped around her head with a handkerchief with a disenchant rune on it. You know, breaking the curse, which he believes that he broke them with his pure and raw power, and that makes her obsessed with him. And her partner in crime, Greedy McGreedy Butt, does not have much of a personality, and from the looks of it, the next arc will be focusing on her, so I kind of have a little hope that they will kind of further develop her character. Now to get into some of the negatives of the show, at times the show can be predictable, where you would have to be an idiot not to see where the plot points are headed. The world in which this series inhabits feels very much a cookie-cutter fantasy world that is often found in this type of show, with little to no elements that make them stand out. The military, besides being a goal of Lloyd to join, kind of feels lackluster, and if you would, it kind of makes you wonder why Lloyd exactly wants to join the military itself, besides to protect people. That is to say, this anime might be trash, but I can't help but love it. It's like that old t-shirt in your dresser drawer, the one with the holes in it that you get at the concert for your favorite band. You know you should throw it out, but you can't help but love it. Let me know down in the comment section below what you think of the show and if you're watching it. And if you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really does help get these videos out there. I'm the Forgotten Critic, and once again, I have been forgotten.